Hi everyone, Michael from MKRO here, and today I wanted to walk you through our latest catalog release, how to make the most of it, explain what we do, how you can explore some of our custom keyboard and desk products, and see how we can integrate in supporting some of your goals, your programs, your product milestones, and more through the catalog. So first, we'll have a look at the website just to give you a sense of what we do and how to access the catalog. Of course, we are MKRO, we're a development studio where we help in every turnkey way in terms of development and the launch, fulfillment, sale, programming around custom keyboard products. That's our specialty. We also specialize in desk mats, custom mice, other peripherals, and desk brand SKUs that you might want to integrate in whatever you're planning for your next event, your next collection. There's a lot of things to go through. And so to get more of a sense of how we work with different types of clients, and you can see several of them up here on the tabs. Each one goes into a bit more depth on the different clients we have, different partnerships. You'll be able to learn more about what we do and how to apply it to your own particular use case. But today, we're gonna be focusing specifically on the catalog. Here you can see as you scroll down, our latest 2026 update. And on the right, you have a link to the 2026 catalog, as well as a lookbook from last year that highlights a lot of our kind of top tier, really unique collaborations that you can look at for more inspiration. But that's for another video. For now, let's click on the 2026 catalog, and that will bring you right here. This is our Infini catalog. Infini is the B2B brand. The actual physical products are branded Infini, and it is run by us at MKRO. We develop these products, we look for new factories to work with, we customize dozens of different SKUs, and basically, whatever you're interested in, whether you see it here or out in the wild, this is a kind of a simplified cataloging. I say simplified, but it is fairly extensive. It goes through all of our processes. And essentially, you can come to us after looking at the catalog or even before and say, hey, we're planning for this type of thing with keyboards, with desk mats, with desk products. How can you help us? And we'll help you navigate these SKUs, different brands, different materials, and really just make it a really simple process. A lot of our clients don't even go into this catalog. They'll just email us, ask us what we can do for their particular needs, and we will handle the rest. If you want to keep it that simple, we absolutely can do that. And for those who want to learn a bit more about exactly what kind of customization, different price points, and so on, we recommend diving into the catalog first or our website, and you'll get a lot of information. Sometimes it could be a bit much, but we really wanted to make this very beginner friendly. So as you scroll down, you can learn more about the company, which is also on the website, and you'll come to the contents. This will bring you to kind of like the specific places you'll go to look at products. You'll see here that the first 20 pages are dedicated to exactly what we make, what the processes are. And so you can, again, dive deeper into the technicalities, the technical aspects, the details, the processes of what we do, and get a sense of the kind of quality we put into everything. And just like I mentioned, we're very turnkey, we're very end-to-end. You can come to us with assets and we can design for you, or you can use our templates to design. We'll go through those options as we go through the catalog. So more of a breakdown on the guides in the beginning, what we provide in terms of those turnkey options, what our process looks like. This is more particular to keycaps, but we go through the same customization process for all of our products, whether it's desk mats and rubber or mice and injection molded and UV printing. It's really the same process of quality that we try to adhere to for every manufacturer, even if they're very, very different in types of products. So the big question people will ask us is, why should we go with you? Why shouldn't we talk to a factory directly? Why can't we get things maybe more affordable, work things out for our own brand, kind of like how HyperX does or Corsair does? And we're not against that at all. Our whole process is to simplify the entire manufacturing process. For example, with keyboards, if you want to make a custom keyboard, you are actually developing several different products with several different manufacturers. You have the keycaps, you have the packaging, you have the switches, you have the keyboard itself, you have any extra features or extra layers of customization you want to do. And realistically, 95% of retail brands, unless they are dedicated to keyboards and peripheral products, they're not gonna wanna spend that much time and trying to learn about those products and get it just right. There's also a lot of difficulty when it comes to making these products suitable for market, and that is where our several years of expertise and working with all these brands for many, many years comes into play. We also have a lot of collective bargaining power. We can do things with brands like Keycron that nobody else can do at lower MOQs, lower price points, more customization, and you get access to that entire pipeline of really unique products that we'll go over in a second, and you can kind of see what we do and how it differs from other brands. But in a sense, again, we're here to make the process really easy for you. Just like t-shirts, you don't have to learn about thread counts and exact sizing and where to source them and talking to the factories. You order t-shirts from, somewhere like Teespring. We want to be that for you, but with a lot more complex and, varied, diverse products. Here, you can go a bit more detail on what exactly goes into dye sublimation, what you can design. Here's a quick glance from our lookbook from last year, give you a sense of the types of brands that are coming to us and, doing something unique, whether it's big VTuber talent like HoloLive or major IP like Naruto with Team Liquid. Even brands like Red Bull and Buffalo Wild Wings are making products with us for a whole host of reasons. And it's really exciting to see these brands, a lot of them which are not really dedicated gaming brands, come to us and say, we want to make something really unique for our audience, and we help them in that process. This helps you navigate some more of the technical aspects of our products and the entire dye sublimation process, which is one that, again, we specialize in and we've really mastered over the last several years. Dye sub can be very tricky, and anyone that's dealt with it on any type of product will tell you it's very tricky when it comes to color matching, to tolerances, to any exact dimensions and applications of design. This is something that we have been putting R&D funds into for the last almost 7 years, I want to say, maybe 8, and we've been able to create the best dye sublimation processes. We go over some of our other packaging options, other things that suppliers might be interested in, wholesalers might be interested in, and you'll start to see some of these blue links. I'll talk about this in just a bit as we scroll down to our products. Now we get to the actual products themselves, and each product will be broken into different versions as well as the different types of products. So first we'll start with keycaps. This is kind of the main thing people want to customize. And I'll just talk about the first listing, and everything else will be a variation of this listing in the keycap section. The first here is a standard keycap set. You can see the exact keys that are included. This can be tailored based on your needs. Maybe you want a smaller kit, a larger kit. This is the general up to TKL size that we found to be very, very popular. It includes also the alternative keys. So different manufacturers, whether it's HyperX or Corsair or Drop or High Ground or Wooting, will have MX compatibility for these keycaps, but their keyboards are slightly different, especially in the bottom row. And that bottom row compatibility might have 1U mod keys or 1.25U mod keys. They're all a little bit different, and you'll notice that if you've ever looked at multiple keyboards side by side. And we specialize in providing compatibility for a whole host of different products. You'll see the technical details more here. The pricing with MOQs, this is our standardized pricing based on straightforward wholesale. This will be different if you are a creator or if you're doing something for marketing. But this is our general breakdown of our higher quality keycaps, per unit pricing, different MOQs, shipping costs. Everything is transparent and for you to see right here. Oftentimes when you talk to manufacturers directly, you won't get a very transparent breakdown of where the price breaks are or how much something will cost. Again, we cover everything for you here and make sure that there's the least amount of headache for you to decide what you want. In the upper right, you'll start to see the links of what you can download. These links are mostly for diagrams as well as templates, Adobe Illustrator templates or vector templates for you to design yourself. Again, like a t-shirt design, it should be as simple as placing an image or design on a template. We've simplified the keycap design process to make it almost as simple as that. So I'll just click on this for a second and you'll get to see here an example of our full-size template. It has layers, different sub-legends. I won't go into everything because it's a fairly deep AI file, but if you're a designer with some familiarity with vector files and Adobe Illustrator in particular, you'll find this template very, very helpful. You can swap out fonts, change colors of the keycaps, you can place images directly on the top and the sides of the keycaps. So this makes the process very simple for you to just bring it into your own computer, design on the file itself and submit it to us that we can then render or submit directly into prototyping. Going back, it'll have some more details on lead times, when you can expect things. Essentially, everything you would need to get started with a keycap set is here on the page. And in this section of the catalog, it'll also go over different forms of keycaps also. You'll have, an extra numpad if you want to add that on, extension kits like with ISO and language compatibility. Then you also have our popular novelty kits, which are smaller packs of keycaps. You don't always have to do a more expensive full-size keycap set. You can do a smaller one, which is fantastic for giveaway swag. We just did this one for Katamari Damacy on their Bandai Namco website. These are fantastic options that are very flexible and lower cost than our full keycap sets. Another great benefit of working with us is you don't have to always order a full keycap set at high MOQs. You can access alternative bundles like this novelty kit. Ever since we launched this for the first time ever on the market a couple of years back, we've had dozens and dozens of brands opt into this, even ones that are not gaming like Cloudflare or Google, to make these for their employees. And it's also a great way to build your keyboard collection. Let's say you've sold them a full keycap set or full keyboard. These are awesome add-on or value adds later on for new collections or expanding your collection that will help keep people coming back to your keyboard offerings without having to sell them in another expensive full keycap set or keyboard. This is another one of our fun offerings that have been asked a lot, especially for artist alleys and other direct lifestyle retailers who want to try out the SKU but don't want to commit to high quantities of more expensive keycap sets. These keychain fidget toys are awesome. You get to put your logo or design on something like we did here for PAX or Persona 3, and people can either use them as a fidget toy, a keychain, a memento of the event, or they can bring it home and take the keycap off and put it onto their keyboard. The next section is about keyboards specifically. It tells a bit about our partnership with Keychron. We work with other manufacturers as well, like Acco, and gives you kind of a pricing breakdown on, just like the keycaps, the models, what you can customize, and so on. Essentially with Keychron, we can customize the vast majority of their injection molded keyboards at any compatibility. We can customize the board with switches. We can make them transparent, different colors, change the packaging. We can do a whole host of things with their infrastructure and brand that, again, most people can't do, but we can do here for your particular collection. The next section is with accessories. So we have the very popular desk mats. We also have cutting mats that we've done. This was a concept we did for Ultraman, as well as other things that might go along with your keyboard collection. Wrist rests, cleaning supplies like this goo for Slimesicle, stickers with your collection for Basil Leaf, or even a 3D artisan that can be painted or cast or metal like we did for Slimesicle here in his collection as well. This one was a fantastic artisan where the keycap can be held on the artisan's head itself. As well as talking about our work directly with the platform FourthWall, where we do a lot of our e-commerce development. We can spin up a dedicated store for your brand, as well as add on different print-on-demand items that are in their existing catalog. So t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, the typical stuff that you would want to consider for a larger branding project, as well as things that are more endemic like laptop sleeves or other items that you might want on your desk. And in the last section, this is kind of a hybrid of our lookbook as well, and we recommend you looking more on our site. This goes over some of our recent and favorite examples of products we've made for different major brands, the different ways that they've used them, and you can get a quick overview. For example, this was for Dota 2, Valve, and for their international competition, The International, a number of years back. This was awesome. We sold this on site as a limited release, sold out at the event. Here's the collection we did for Slay the Spire 1. This was also phenomenal. One for each of the playable characters. We did some really fun marketing on this. And you can see here, really bespoke customization on the board, on the keycaps, on the desk mat, and the marketing material for each of the products. Collectibles for events like PAX East, as well as a lot of charity and auction work that we do for companies like Children's Hospitals. This one was for T1D, Breakthrough, and more marketing products for companies. I mentioned Cloudflare, different tech companies like Meta. We do events. We really recommend you go through this catalog at your own pace, see if there's anything of particular interest, and we are happy to talk about this more. So if you want to explore this category more and have a general idea of what you might want to achieve, or even if you're early on and you just want to learn more about the process, please do reach out to us at partner@mkro.studio. We'll put it in the description. Let us know below, and we'd love to start brainstorming with you. Thanks, everyone.